It's one of the great traditions of college basketball.
Weep no more, my ladies. Oh, weep no more today. We will sing one song for our old Kentucky home. For our old Kentucky home, far away.
Ladies and gentlemen,
2-on-1. Robinson, ball down.
right back on the follow. There's Davis. Watch out for Roberson. What a pass. What a slam. Oh, what a pass.
Quicker than a hiccup.
Roberts to follow and one. Mario Moore goes baseline, hangs. What a shot.
Sold out Rupp Arena in Lexington, where the Wildcat faithful have come to say goodbye to their two seniors as Alltel presents Tennessee and Kentucky. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rupp Arena on senior night as the Wildcats celebrate also their 43rd Southeastern Conference Championship, but playing now for a hoped #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. And, of course, the opposition on senior night fitting it should be Tennessee, Kentucky's oldest rival, meeting the Vols tonight for the 198th time. Joined now by Larry Conley for the color commentary. Welcome in, Larry. And, of course, it also provides Tennessee coming to Rupp Arena. Last year's Kentucky Mr. Basketball, Chris Lofton, with his first game on this floor as a collegian.
Yeah, right now, I don't think they want to see this native Kentucky in the way he's been shooting the basketball. 25 points against South Carolina, 30 against Arkansas. He's shooting over 50% in those two games from beyond the arc. This has been one of the really, truly talented freshmen this league has had to offer this year.
It's also the final appearance at Rupp Arena for the beloved Chuck Hayes.
And we're going to talk a lot about this young man tonight. He has had a terrific career in his 4 years at UK.
And not a dry in the house as Chuck Hayes took his bows. Let's look at our Pontiac keys to the game.
Well, the keys, I think, for Tennessee, obviously, if they have any kind of chance, they must value every possession. They've got to take care of the basketball, get good looks at the basket. For Kentucky, very simply their defense. They've been the leading defensive club in the league all year long.
Josh Carrier and Chuck Hayes, one of the most loved players in Kentucky's basketball history. Opening tip in a moment.
The Alltel SEC Game of the Week is being brought to you by Alltel, by Jefferson Pilot Financial, by your local Toyota dealers, and by Advance Auto Parts.
Back at Rupp Arena, Tom Hammond, Larry Conley, where Kentucky has lost only once in the last 40 senior nights. And hosting the Tennessee Vols tonight. Here are Safe Auto starting lineups. First for the visiting Volunteers, who come in with a record of 12-15. And Brandon Crump. Been hot the last 5 games with Patterson, Lofton, the former Kentucky Mr. Basketball, the leading three-point shooter in the Southeastern Conference, Bradshaw and Watson. We may see Scooter McFadden, who's missed the last 3 games with a bruised right leg. Kentucky, Kalena Azubuike, averaging over 22 points his last 2 games. A week ago against Auburn here at Rupp Arena, he had a career-high 30 points and 11 rebounds. Chuck Hayes, Josh Carrier gets to start as the senior, and Sparks, the hero of the Alabama win, and Rondo, the freshman, round out the Kentucky lineup. The embattled Buzz Peterson, fighting to keep his job as the head coach at Tennessee in his 4th season in Knoxville. And Orlando Tubby Smith, who celebrates another Southeastern Conference championship. And under Tubby, the Wildcats have never lost a senior night game.
They have now won 5 SEC championships under Tubby's reign. 5 of the 8 years he's been here.
Kentucky's beaten Tennessee 6 in a row, as you see. This series with its 198th renewal. Gerald Boudreau, Tony Green, and Joe Lindsay, the officials for tonight's game. Overall, Kentucky is 80 wins, 4 losses on senior night. And the opening tap through several hands before it comes to Brandon Crump of Tennessee. Vols with the first possession.
Kentucky opens up in a man-to-man defense. Rondo wearing that little flak jacket again tonight. I asked him about it before the game, said he needs it right now because he's still got some bruising.
Bruised ribs in the game against Auburn a week ago. Kentucky, appropriate they should be on defense. They're the best defensive team in the Southeastern Conference.
Nice help by Morris that time.
Crump's outside shot, no good, and Chuck Hayes one-hands the board.
Only appropriate. The first rebound would go to the senior Hayes.
That was his 855th, and Patrick Sparks takes right up where he left off in Tuscaloosa.
Was he hot in the second half the other day? I mean, he was burning the net. Turned around to Coach Smith and said, call my number.
Yeah, why
call
not?
my number.
Call it twice as he hit 7 of 10 threes. Southeastern Conference Player of the Week after that performance. The comeback Cats against Alabama.
Nice help. Azubuike down inside against Crump.
Double down of Crump, and it leaves Lofton open, and the three-point shooter knocks it down. That's one guy you can't rotate off of to leave open.
Yeah, he's the one really dangerous threat that Tennessee has on the outside, although Watson is pretty effective, too, from out there.
Carrier's pass, swiped by Patterson.
Oh, what a move by Lofton.
Behind the back, reverse, good. And Chris Lofton, who has many of his family and friends from Mason County, Maysville, Kentucky, here to see him play at Rupp Arena, has all 5 Tennessee points.
Well, Rondo had that measured. He was ready to steal that. He put it right behind his back. Excellent move that time by the freshman Lofton.
Carrier for 3.
Are we going to have a Trey Point shootout here?
Josh Carrier, who came in as a Kentucky Mr. Basketball with a reputation as an outside shooter, really hasn't worked out for him that way, but very appropriate. His first shot, senior night, a three-pointer good.
Nice movement by Tennessee.
Crump in traffic, muscled it through.
Crump didn't get a chance to play in the first game because of his ankle injury, Tom, and Tennessee gets the steal. Watson back with it.
Rondo lost it. Watson backs it out, waits for his teammates.
Inattention to detail by Kentucky early on here. A couple of turnovers that maybe they ordinarily would not do here at home.
Lofton can't get by Sparks. Here's Patterson, finds Crump diving to the hoop. Came out on him and rebounded by Hayes.
Tennessee doing a nice job of getting back in defensive transition. They're not going to allow Kentucky to get any easy ones.
Lofton deflected but couldn't steal. Rondo finds Sparks. Bradshaw quickly out on him. Why not?
Closed him out quick, didn't he?
Azubuike, no good.
Hayes with another rebound.
That's his third already, and the first foul of the game is called on Tennessee. Andre Patterson whistled for the personal.
Tom, I think all year long, consistently, Kentucky's defense has been right there when Tubby Smith has needed it. It has been the offense that's been up and down. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride for them offensively.
All 3 of those rebounds are Chuck Hayes. Since Chuck Hayes broke his nose against Tennessee in the first meeting in Knoxville, his rebound production has been down a little bit. But it doesn't look like it tonight. Brandon Crump commits his first foul.
Nice crowd tonight on senior night. They've got him jammed in here everywhere.
Rondo and Watson, that's a good matchup. And Rondo with a crossover dribble, whips it to Carrier.
Nice
finds
pass.
Azubuike for 3. No good, and Tennessee's first rebound belongs to Brandon Crump. Crump with a screen for Lofton. Mismatch as he's picked up by Hayes on the switch. Watson tries to penetrate, couldn't do it.
Bad mismatch right there. Sparks can't handle him.
Double down to Crump, and it didn't matter as he had Carrier and Sparks. He puts it down for number 4.
Kentucky does a lot of switching on ball screens. Whenever the guy's dribbling over, they'll make the switch, and sometimes they get caught. That time Sparks is at a disadvantage.
Azubuike back rim on the 3, and an over-the-back call. Looks like it's Chuck Hayes. Chuck with Kentucky's first foul.
Now Buzz Peterson off the bench right now. His Tennessee squad up by 3. And playing very well.
Tennessee's lost 8 of their last 10, but the Vols have played tough on the road. They haven't won many, but every game they've been in it. We're 4 minutes into this one, and Tennessee with the ball up 3. Lofton tried to leave it for Patterson. Scramble. Kentucky has it.
That was a turnover waiting to happen. He got the ball in amongst the defense of Kentucky.
Randolph Morris, who came in at the timeout break, wastes no time making his presence known. Watson bumped as he took it to the rim. Patrick Sparks.
You know, Tom, you were talking earlier about this Tennessee squad in the 5 games. Well, we'll talk about it in a moment. We're going to take a break right now.
And the Vols will get Major Wingate on the floor when we come back to Rupp Arena, where the Vols hold a 1-point lead. The best of the conference presented by Chevrolet. The new Chevrolet is an American revolution. As we look at our Southeastern Conference scoring leaders, and Anthony Roberson of Florida, 18.4, tops the list. Kennedy Winston, Brandon Bass, Lawrence Roberts, Tony Douglas, and Ronnie Brewer rounding out the SEC scoring leaders.
Those guys have been up there all year long, haven't they?
They have indeed. Ashley Judd is here tonight. And Chris Lofton is here. No mistaking that in the early going as the former Mason County, Kentucky standout.
Well, we'll move from one star to the other. Chris Lofton here getting the game started for the Volunteers with a long-range 3. Nice move right there with the ball behind the back, a reverse layup off the window. I'll tell you what, Rondo had that one measured to steal, and Lofton with a nice move around the back. This kid has been a terrific player all year long for Tennessee. Certainly going to make the all-freshman team.
No doubt. And you may know the story. Wanted to come to Kentucky. Many in his hometown, Maysville, Kentucky. Mason County High School wanted him to come. Kentucky just didn't think that they had a spot for him. So he winds up going to Tennessee. And Chris, to his credit, says all that's behind him. No bitterness involved. He's happy in Knoxville. Watson makes 2.
They got a few Mason County folks down here tonight, too, to watch it.
Tennessee goes back up by 3. Ramel Bradley's into the game for the first time for Kentucky. And so's Robbie Moss.
Good double team by Tennessee. They're going to get the steal.
Bradshaw comes away with it.
I don't know why Morris didn't give it up. He was surrounded down there by orange jerseys. Had nowhere to go with it. Tennessee with a good defensive stance that time.
Patterson against Hayes. Wingate fumbled it away. And then Bradshaw got it back from Azubuike. Bradshaw blocked by Chuck Hayes.
That was quite a sequence of events right there. Kentucky got the steal. Looked like they had it clean going the other way. But watch Bradshaw right here come up with that steal. Gets it back, and Patterson makes a nice pass to him. And then a good defensive play from behind by Chuck Hayes.
Joe Crawford into the Wildcat lineup. Bradshaw for 3.
Good shot. Dane Bradshaw is not known as a three-point shooter at all, and he nailed that one.
19% on the season, and Tennessee has its biggest lead. Wingate with a foul.
Anytime you're running out of bounds play, you look to the corners if you're the guy inbounding, and that time he found Dane Bradshaw right in the corner in front of the Kentucky bench. Hit nothing but net.
Patterson out, replaced by Jameer Hendricks, 6'8" junior from Covington, Georgia. Kentucky inbounds play. Here's Bradley. Crawford looks inside for Morris, got it to him. Wildcats with 3 freshmen on the floor at the moment, and one of them, Randolph Morris, takes it to the rim for his 4th point.
You know, Tom, you can see the improvement on this player every week. I mean, he just gets better and better. In the last couple of weeks, he really has taken some giant leaps, I think.
Bradshaw lost it, taken away by Bradley. Bradley leads the breaks, got Crawford in front. Crawford, and a hustling play by Hendricks.
They're going to say it went off Kentucky.
Deflects it off Crawford and out of bounds to Tennessee. Wow, Hendricks sprinting down the floor makes this play.
You know, this is a good pass by Bradley right here. Crawford thought he had a wide open layup, and he delayed just enough to give him a chance, to give Hendricks a chance to get in there to block that ball. Nice defensive work again by Tennessee.
Was indeed off Crawford. We played 6 minutes on senior night here at Rupp Arena. Watson and Bradley, hand-to-hand combat. Watson forced that one. On the floor, Bradley. Spinning to Crawford. 3-pointer. No good. Nice block out. Wingate hauls it in. Bradshaw fouled as he takes it in and delivers. SEC basketball brought to you in part by Evinrude.
Tennessee hanging in there. You know, if you give a team that's been down all year long some confidence, they'll play you strong. And
Right now, Tennessee is doing an excellent job in this first 6+ minutes of this first half.
That's Bobby Perry, who replaces Chuck Hayes, who just picked up his second foul. What about that on senior night with his family in from California? Chuck makes an early exit. 13:33 to go first half. Now, normally, Tubby Smith, when a player picks up 2 fouls in the first half, he sits him the rest of the half. Whether that'll happen on senior night, I don't know. Zone defense on the inbounds play. Nice cut to the hoop, and the basket counts for Stanley Asumnu.
Give Hendricks a lot of credit, too. He made the cut down the middle that time for Asumnu did, and Hendricks got him the ball in the right place. I think he walked. Yeah, he picked up that pivot foot. Tom, anytime you play a zone defense the way Kentucky's playing right now, they're stretched pretty thinly on that front court. And it allowed Asumnu to get on the inside in front of Morris, and a nice pass again by Hendricks to him right in the middle of the court.
5 turnovers for the Wildcats. Some of Kentucky's poorer performances have come at Rupp Arena at home against seemingly outmanned opponents. Careless Tennessee pass. Bradley gets it to Crawford, looking cross court, can't deliver the pass. Here's Perry. Moss looking for Morris. He's in a wrestling match. And the foul will be called on Hendricks.
Foul is on Hendricks, his first.
Once again, right here, you'll see Jameer Hendricks trying to guard Morris down on the post. He's a little outmanned right there, particularly inside. He just looked like he tried to tackle him.
Had him wrapped up, had an arm around him, falling into his legs.
What's funny about it was Morris just kind of ignored him. He was just still trying to get to the ball.
Rondo returns for Kentucky, and Moss to the bench. Sparks is also back. Crawford out. Morris forced it up. Crump got a piece. Perry can't follow. And taken the other way by C.J. Watson.
Nice job by Bradley to cut off Watson that time to keep him from going into the lane to deliver the basketball to an open Tennessee player.
Tennessee sets it up. They have the ball. They're up by 6. Just over 12 minutes to go in the first half. Tough shot. A runner no good by Asumnu. Here's Sparks for 3. He still got it.
Is he ever going to cool off?
Well, not anytime soon, apparently. 2 for 2 from the three-point arc tonight. Got the Tennessee lead in half. Trying to answer, no good. Watson in the corner. And a Kentucky rebounding foul. Patrick Sparks still on fire. Knocks down another 3, but Kentucky is down by 3. Tennessee leading Kentucky 16-13 at Rupp Arena. Guess the final score of an upcoming game telecast. You could win $10,000. Just log on to jpsports.com. Click on the Toyota banner to register in the Toyota You Pick'em Challenge. Each week, one winner takes a team jacket and the chance to win $10,000 by correctly picking the final score of the game. Might have been hard-pressed to pick this score. Not final yet, but Tennessee dominating the early action against the favored Wildcats, 16-13. Tennessee hitting 6 of 12 overall, 2 of 3 from the three-point arc, while Kentucky is 5 of 12, 3 of 6 from three-point land. Kentucky, which has been out-rebounded in 5 straight games, has an 8-3 rebounding edge in this one. Watson out to set it up for the Volunteers. Crump inside. They collapse on him and commit the foul. Let's see. It's on Bobby Perry, his first.
Perry trying to give Morris a little bit of help in there when the ball goes down inside to Brandon Crump. Kentucky not familiar with Crump this year because he didn't play that first game, and Tennessee's going to him a number of times in this first half.
Crump missed 4 games with an ankle sprain as Lofton misses the 3, but Asumnu has the offensive board.
A pattern developing for Tennessee. They get the offensive rebound. They don't go back up with it. They bring it back up, bring it out and set their half-court offense.
I've been able to hear the crowd say, "Woo!" It sounded like an ooh. It's a woo for Orbjut is ready to come in. There's a traveling call against the Volunteers. They turn it over. Lukasz Orbjut, who affectionately is known as Roo by his teammates and the fans. And a super game in Tuscaloosa. The Wildcats
put in some good
Alabama.
Yeah, he did.
So he's on the floor now, the 7'1" sophomore from Poland.
Kentucky being very patient on this possession.
Orbjut right back to Azabuki for the slam.
Did you know the little look away that time? But Orbjut just kind of looked away and just kind of dropped it off to him. Nicely done.
He's on the floor about 10 seconds and picks up an assist. Crump now challenging him, and Orbjut holds his ground. And a jump ball called. Possession arrow to Kentucky. So Orbjut, 2 plays in 30 seconds.
Nice assist and a tie-up right there. Alternate possession gives Kentucky back the ball. Chance to take the lead.
Sparks using a screen from Perry. Here's Perry. And Kentucky does indeed take the lead.
So that's 2 good assists by Kentucky in the last 2 possessions.
And a steal. Rondo to Sparks. 3-pointer on its way. Well, I'm not sure. They're going to count the tap in and count it as a 3. Tennessee takes a 30. It seems to me that if it's a 2, it's basket interference, but they're going to count it as a 2 tapped in. And with a Tennessee timeout, let's pause for this message from the University of Kentucky. Back to play at Rupp Arena, 19-16 Kentucky's lead, just under the midway point of this half. Tennessee led for the most of the first 10 minutes. Sunu trying to get it to Crump. There's the double from Sparks. Open man Watson couldn't get the shot away. Patterson can. Hits the deck but pounds it home. His first basket. It's a 1-point game.
Watson, the 4th leading man in the Southeastern Conference in assists with another good pass.
Perry misses a 3. Good block out by Crump. Bradshaw. Bad pass. Watson saved it, and Patterson flushes it down.
How about that pass by Watson? That was a bullet. With the left hand off the dribble, just threw it right underneath, wide open. C.J. Watson with 2 good passes.
Beautiful assist, puts Tennessee back in front. And a steal by Watson. Watson has a Sunu.
Make it 3 assists in a row.
And Stanley Asumnu off the Tennessee bench with 4 points. And Tennessee back up by 3.
Now, is there any doubt that C.J. Watson runs this club? I mean, he basically has just taken over the last minute of play.
Orbjut to Perry. Nice pass. Orbjut continues to show good interior passing. And Perry has his 4th point. Another assist for Orbjut.
A couple of them for him already. Rondo, good defensive play outside on Watson.
Asumnu. Where'd this come from? He only averages 2 a game. He has 6. Pass too long for Orbjut. Kentucky turns it over.
Watch the balls right here. C.J. Watson with a nice pass down the inside, and Patterson finishing it off. But that's not all Watson could do. Here he comes up with the basketball. Well, look at that quick pass with the left hand. That is a terrific play down there. And again, Patterson the beneficiary. And then Watson with the steal and the assist to Sumnu. C.J. Watson just dominating the last minute of play for the Volunteers.
Lofton matched up against Sparks, gives it up to Patterson. Lofton fakes Sparks, the runner, good off the glass, Chris Lofton.
Smart play, he pulled up, did not want to go into Orbjut right there, and had the easy layup off the glass.
7 points. Here's a steal, Crump overplaying, deflects it to Lofton. Tennessee ball, last hit for the Wildcats. Chris Lofton, the Kentucky native, the former Mr. Basketball in the Commonwealth, gives the Vols a 5-point edge. Tennessee leads Kentucky 26-21 at the 7:37 mark of the first half. This winter, watch for the Geico College Basketball Campus Tour, a season-long traveling exhibit celebrating the 25 greatest college basketball players of all time. Go to jpsports.com for more information. Tennessee, facing the top defense in the Southeastern Conference in both scoring and field goal percentage, is shooting 57.9%, including 2 of 4 from the three-point arc. Kentucky known for its defense. That's the consistent thing for the Wildcats, game in and game out. But tonight, Tennessee hitting 11 of 19, 57.9%.
The thing about it is they're getting good looks at the basket. I mean, none of these shots are being challenged much at all.
Kentucky's committed 8 turnovers, 2 to 6 for Tennessee. Wingate shoots over Morris. Back rim. Easy rebound for Sheree Thomas, who entered at the last timeout. Bradley around Bradshaw. Bradshaw cut him off. Carrier for 3.
What a time to rise up for the senior, huh?
Josh Carrier with another three-pointer, his second. He's 2 for 2 from the arc. Patterson draws the double team, shoots anyway. Snatched away by Morris.
Good strong rebound by Morris that time. Kentucky flaring on the wings.
And a foul on Patterson. Second foul on Andre.
Now, Tom talked about Josh Carrier, his second three-point field goal of this first half, and the senior nailing his first couple of shots here, helping Kentucky close that gap down to 2.
Patrick Sparks will pitch it in for the Cats. Here's Sparks. They lost him. Three-pointer. Good.
You know, if they hadn't tipped that one in on him, he'd have had 4.
He is 3 of 4 as it is. Lofton tries to answer and does for Tennessee. Chris Lofton.
Big time shot by Lofton.
Chris Lofton is 2 of 3 at the three-point arc and has 10 points. Bradley misses. Thomas missed a follow. Has it back. Muscles up and no good. And finally, Tennessee comes away with it. Jawan Smith back to Lofton. Three-pointer. Good.
Oh, he is hot. Chris Lofton burning the nets on the Tennessee end. We are having an old-fashioned shootout right now.
From three-point range, Chris Lofton 3 of 4 from the arc. The only player in the game in double figures. He has 13 points on his homecoming night as the former Kentucky Mr. Basketball. Sparks, and he answers again with a hand in his face.
Is this fun? I mean, these guys are really going at each other right now. Great shooting, both teams.
Sparks is 4 of 5 from the arc, 12 points, and nearly took that one away out of bounds. Tennessee's ball. Chris Lofton, in his first season in Knoxville, has tied the great Chris Jackson of LSU for the most three-point field goals in Southeastern Conference history by a freshman. He's already set the Tennessee record. And now has tied Chris Jackson.
That's pretty good company.
Indeed.
Carrier trying to stay with Lofton.
Smith faked the 3, got Sparks to commit. Couldn't hit. On the floor, picked up by the Cats. Sparks is tripped, pushed. Smith called for the personal foul. First on Jawan Smith.
That's one way from keeping from catching the basketball and shooting it.
That's about the only way. 6 fouls against Tennessee. Kentucky has committed 5.
Well, it's been great shooting for both clubs. I mean, they really have lit up the nets tonight.
Bradley finally finds Carrier. Sparks underneath the rim, no good, and Wingate has it. check foul called on Kentucky is Ramel Bradley. Well, we said it's not unusual for Tennessee to play well on the road. 5 losses, total of only 15 points. The problem is all those L's.
That means they're averaging losing in those 5 games by 3 points a game. That's how close Buzz Peterson's club has been this year. And Tom, they've got some big wins. They've got wins over Mississippi State, Florida, and they pounded LSU.
Interesting, statistically, Tennessee averages 69.3 points a game and gives up 69.3. Exactly even. Not good, by the way. Lofton off a screen. Had a hand in his face that time. Tough shot, but an offensive board. And a foul, no, out of bounds. Tennessee lost it on a turnover. Hendricks had the offensive rebound, but stepped on the baseline.
Hendricks, one of those guys that claims that he would rather rebound than score. He had an easy one there to go back up with. Good offensive rebound.
You like the old-fashioned shootouts, the three-point range shootouts? Got one brewing here at Rupp Arena. 2 Kentucky sharpshooters. One of them wearing orange.
Rondo wants to run a half-court play right here. Watson all over him.
Sparks puts it on the floor. Spins to the rim. Scores!
Oh, Sparks is paying big dividends right now. He has played so well. The big game against Alabama and Tuscaloosa, and again tonight here in the first half against Tennessee.
14 points. Tie game at 32. Crump against Morris. Rondo to help. Leaves Watson open for the 3. Back rim on the floor to Josh Carrier.
Well, they're closing Sparks out. They've got 2 guys running after him now.
Here's the double of Morris. Then they back off. Sparks has it. I don't know if Smith could get any closer than he was on Patrick Sparks. And the second foul call. Number 2 on Patrick. Patrick Sparks, Chris Lofton. This one, not a 3. We're tied at 32. 2:53 to go first half on senior night at Rupp Arena, and Kentucky in a battle with the Tennessee Vols, tied at 32. Be sure to visit the Pontiac display at the SEC Fan Fair during tournament week in Atlanta next week. You can see up close the exciting new Pontiac G6. Announcers for this game selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports, and the use of the broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited. Our All-Tel SEC doubleheader on Saturday, final day of the regular season for most of the teams. Kentucky closes out at Florida Sunday. But this Saturday on most of these Jefferson Pilot stations, 2 o'clock Eastern Time, Arkansas, Auburn, followed by Vanderbilt and LSU from Baton Rouge. Our All-Tel doubleheader on Saturday. 2 ties, 7 lead changes here. Chuck Hayes on senior night after picking up 2 quick fouls, continues to rest on the Wildcat bench. Fine way to close out your senior night. Rules are rules. You should have spoken with Gerald Boudreau before the game. Here's Lofton. That one no good. Nice rebound by Morris.
Rupp thought he had him blocked out. Morris battled inside to get it.
Rondo penetrates. Carrier back to Rondo. Baseball pass over to Moss, who's in. Back to Robbie Moss. The 3-pointer is good.
Well, that was good ball movement by Kentucky. 4 of the 5 players touched it that time, and Moss finished it off.
Robbie Moss has made so many great clutch plays off the bench for the Wildcats. A walk-on. As you see the 3-point shooting here tonight. Walk-on in name only. He's as good as many scholarship players you'll see, and they rake it away for the steal. Rondo.
Nicely done. Kentucky with 2 good back-to-back baskets to force to this 5-point lead.
That was a tough shot by Rondo in traffic. Here's C.J. Watson, rejected by Morris. Carrier to Rondo. 2 on 3. Rondo takes it up. No basket. Offensive foul. Rondo did not have the numbers. He should have backed it out.
Pretty nice play by Jameer Hendricks to draw that player control foul that time. I think Tubby Smith was looking for a blocking foul. Good double team by Tennessee down inside. Robbie Moss right in front of the Tennessee bench. And then right after that, the good move down inside. A little bit of a bump right there as Rondo laid it in, too.
No basket, offensive foul, Rondo, and the fans react as they see the replay on the screens here in the corners at Rupp Arena. Minute 15 to go in the first half. Kentucky's lead is 5. Watson. Rondo made a run at him. He missed it. Offensive rebound. Crump. 4 white jerseys around him. Patterson hits the offensive board. Swiped by Moss. Carrier gives it up to Rondo. Carrier. Three-pointer. No good. Crump fights off the Wildcats. Wanted a foul. Bradshaw says, let's settle it down a bit. Here's Crump. 35 seconds. 30 seconds. Shot clock at 10. Lofton. Up over the board and out of bounds. Was it deflected?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Tennessee gets it with only 7 on the shot clock.
Tough shot that time, I thought, going down inside for Lofton. He had 4 guys he was challenging, all of them bigger than he.
Azubuike on for the final 21 seconds. And Moss a little gimpy as he walks to the Kentucky bench. Lob it into Crump. Tough catch. Surrounded. Shot. No good. And Morris clears.
Morris doing a nice job inside rebounding, getting good position down in there and keeping Crump away from that offensive rebound.
Kentucky take the final shot. 3 seconds to 1. And Rondo, no basket would not have counted anyway. He didn't get it up in time. So Kentucky unable to get a final shot on its last possession of the half. Tubby Smith and the Wildcats, though, will go to the locker room in front by 5. But a hard-fought 5-point lead. Buzz Peterson and the Vols came to Rupp Arena on senior night ready to play. It's a 5-point Wildcat advantage.
SEC basketball is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts, by your local Toyota dealers, by Sonic Drive-Ins, and by Geico. Jefferson Pilot Sports presents the SEC Good Works team, recognizing the superior community service efforts of league basketball players. Today's honoree is junior guard C.J. Watson from the University of Tennessee. C.J. is a regular visitor to patients at the UT Medical Center. He's also a volunteer with the local Boys and Girls Club and a reader at area elementary schools. Jefferson Pilot Sports is proud to salute C.J. Watson for being named a member of the SEC Good Works team.
Alltel presents the SEC Player of the Week. This week, it's LSU's Brandon Bass, who once again anchored the LSU attack as the Tigers picked up 2 huge conference wins. In LSU's buzzer-beating victory against Alabama, Bass controlled the inside with 15 points and 9 boards. Then later in the week against Auburn, he had 22 points to energize the Tigers as they came back from a halftime deficit to beat Auburn. Brandon Bass, our Alltel SEC Player of the Week. Halftime at Rupp Arena, 37-32. And they grow them young in the Bluegrass. They're out on senior night. Who knows, maybe in a few years, one of those youngsters will be suiting up for the final time for the Wildcats.
Those are pretty youngsters right there.
They are indeed. Well, nobody young in that picture.
Not in that picture. No, I can tell you that.
Well, the sharpshooters had the windage just right and had the sights locked in that first half. Chris Lofton of Tennessee, Patrick Sparks of Kentucky. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, Tom, it was. And the fact that both teams were shooting the ball so well, particularly those 2 guys, I think says a lot about how these teams have showed up tonight. I tell you, Tennessee came out here ready to play. They were not going to roll over. This is a team that they love to challenge Kentucky.
Patrick Sparks, 14 points in the first half. And Tennessee's Chris Lofton has just 13. Tennessee had that high shooting percentage early, but Kentucky cooled them off with that good defense. That's why the Wildcats are in front here at intermission. As we look at the Advanced Auto Parts drive to the SEC Championship on the final week of the SEC regular season. And in the West, deadlock at the top between Alabama and LSU at 10-4. And of course, the overall champion in the Southeastern Conference for the 43rd time, the Kentucky Wildcats, with a conference best 13-1 record. We'll continue with halftime from Rupp Arena on senior night. Wildcats in a tussle with the Tennessee Vols. They lead it by 5. You're watching Southeastern Conference basketball, the Jefferson Pilot SEC Network, on the final week of the regular season in SEC play. And on senior night, Kentucky getting a battle from their arch rival, the Tennessee Vols. It's 37-32 at halftime. Let's check some other scores now. Florida and Georgia playing in Athens. Halftime score, and the Bulldogs lead the Gators, who are in second place in the SEC East. Alabama, their arch rival Auburn, 41-30 in Tuscaloosa. Crimson Tide.
LSU Ole Miss will stay in the SEC in the first half. LSU up by 1, and South Carolina Vanderbilt in Nashville, and the Commodores are up at halftime by 3.
Let's check into the ACC, and Tech leading Wake by 1 in Winston-Salem. And NC State and Virginia yet to start.
Yeah, let's go with the top 25. Oklahoma State out in Stillwater up on Texas A&M by 5 in the second half. In the Big East, right now, Connecticut just all over Georgetown in the second half.
Seton Hall trails Villanova in the second half. Halftime score Big Ten. Michigan State 37-22 over Northwestern.
Conference USA, Cincinnati up on Tulane in the first half. Bearcats on their way to the NCAA tournament again.
And Kansas State, Kansas, 9 o'clock Eastern time start. Here at Rupp Arena, Kentucky had to come from behind to lead 37-32 at halftime. We'll return after this message from Pontiac and the G6 driving experience.
This G6 has really got some sizzle.
When you talk about Pontiac, you talk about performance. In the G6, it has a 3.5 liter, 200 horsepower V6 to give you the power you need when you're out on the road. It's the longest wheelbase in its class, Dave, over 112 inches. And what that does for you is gives you plenty of passenger room.
If it looks 40, that's what I'm interested in.
This car definitely has style.
The SEC is all about tradition, and Pontiac and the G6, this line, it's a tradition of performance.
5-point game at halftime. The UK Pep Band entertaining here at halftime. They honored some of their seniors tonight as well. Well, Larry, the Southeastern Conference office made Patrick Sparks the SEC Player of the Week, deservedly so, but you can make a pretty good case for Chris Lofton for that honor this week as well. Maybe they're just going to decide it on the floor here.
They may very well do that. You know, once in a while you have good highlights, sometimes you have bad ones. Tonight, we got good ones. Watch again, Tennessee right here. Chris Lofton, 3 threes in that first half, nailing 1. Good pass to the corner, and he gets his second one right here. He was 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. It wasn't all that was done by Tennessee, though. Again, nice pass inside by Watson. Stanley Asumnu filling the lane. For Kentucky, you got to talk Sparks. Watch again. The catch, the release, catch and shoot. You know what? He can also get some 2s in there with those 3s. Nice move down the middle. And to finish it off, Josh Carrier, 1 of 2 3-point field goals he made in that first half.
As we look at our Sonic halftime stats, Kentucky shooting 51.7%. Tennessee cooled off to 40.6%. 4 of 9 from the arc for Tennessee, 7 of 13 Kentucky. And Kentucky did not attempt a free throw, only 2, and Tennessee hit both theirs. 3 rebound edge for the Wildcats on the offensive board, though Tennessee leads by 1. Turnovers pretty even too. Tennessee gotten half a dozen points off their bench. It's a 5-point Kentucky lead as we head toward the second half.
SEC basketball is being brought to you by Citgo, by Bell South, by Safe Auto Insurance, and by Pontiac.
Final game of the season at Rupp Arena. Final game here for Chuck Hayes. As we noted earlier, one of the most loved Kentucky players ever. Not only because he's such a blue-collar worker, but because he is so unassuming and such a good citizen, good student. He and Josh Carrier set to graduate in the spring. Meanwhile, the shootout between the sharpshooting guards, Chris Lofton and Patrick Sparks, has been fun to watch. No respect for Chuck Hayes on senior night. He picked up an early second foul and played only 6 minutes in the first half.
He'll have a chance to come back. He's actually playing pretty well. He had 3 rebounds before he went to that bench.
Rondo with a hand check foul is number 2 on the talented Kentucky freshman. Already has set the Kentucky freshman steals record this season.
He is the master of thievery. One of the better guys, I think, in the Southeastern Conference in that category. In fact, he's number 1.
Yeah, he ranks number 1 in the SEC and has had a phenomenal freshman season. Bradshaw looking for Crump. It's defended by Randolph Morris, who gets the second half start for Kentucky in the middle. Shot clock at 10 is Crump with a jump hook and a pretty one over Morris, and Crump has a half dozen points.
Tennessee back in that zone defense again. They're really surrounding inside Morris to keep the ball away from him. They got 2 guys to worry about. There's the other one down inside.
Hayes. Chuck Hayes on the pass from Patrick Sparks.
It's funny, when you double one guy, the other guy is open, and that's what happened. Tennessee doubled up on Morris that time and left Hayes wide open.
Bradshaw needs some help. Gets it to Crump. Crump, double team from Sparks. Patterson to Crump, who draws the foul. Morris.
Now, watch Brandon Crump again operate against Morris right here, who just picked up that foul. You can see him with that nice little jump shot, and then Hayes, after the double team on Morris, allowed him to get open on that side and put one off the window.
As we said, there have been only 2 free throws in the entire game. Tennessee was 2 for 2 in the person of C.J. Watson. Here's Brandon Crump at the volunteer line.
Probably a place Kentucky would like to stay away from anyway. They have not shot free throws well this year as a team.
8th in the conference, 66.3. Tennessee is 5th, 69%. We have not seen Scooter McFadden for the Vols tonight, their leading scorer on the season. He missed the last 3 games with a bruised leg and has not played tonight. Azubuike rebounds the second missed free throw.
Watson has Rondo outside, goes behind the screen, not worried about Rondo shooting. He has struggled from beyond that 3-point line.
Hayes with a screen for Sparks,
who has not struggled from beyond that 3-point line.
Here's one. Azubuike waded in to keep it alive for a moment, but Bradshaw was able to get control. Watson pull up. Morris able to tap it to Hayes.
Pretty good teamwork right there. Morris couldn't come down with it, and he got it to Hayes.
Look at Hayes with a crossover, blocked by Patterson, and Crump has it for Tennessee. Watson, Bradshaw, here's Lofton, 3-pointer, no good. Hayes tapped it back, but Lofton has it for Tennessee. Bradshaw.
Oh, what a beautiful pass by Chris Lofton. Kind of played volleyball with the basketball that time, but Lofton got it back and made a nice bounce pass to Bradshaw underneath.
Tennessee within 2.
Tennessee back in that zone defense, a 2-3.
Rondo. That'll be a goaltending call against Patterson. Credit the basket to Rondo from Chuck Hayes.
Let's go back and watch Chris Lofton. We talked about his 3-point shooting ability. This guard's got more talent than just that. Look at that nice bounce pass. Pretty. Have a strong affection for those guys that can make good passes.
Absolutely. Nice passer during your day at Kentucky.
Guy sitting in the stand tonight, I used to give a lot of them too, as a matter of fact.
Mr. Pat Riley. Bradshaw with a head of steam. Takes it all the way. He missed the shot. A little trickery on the layup. Couldn't finish it. Rondo to the trailer, Morris. Dangerous. Morris able to get under control. Now set to the low post against Wingate. And Wingate fouled him.
There's Pat on the left side right there. As Coach Rupp used to tell me, Larry, you're really good, but Pat's better. Get him the basketball.
Donna Smith explaining a few of the finer points of the game to Pat.
Well, he needs that. Was a good teammate.
Randolph Morris. Well, to remind you that always one of our highlights, the Southeastern Conference Tournament, Georgia Dome in Atlanta, starts next Thursday. You can watch it starting at 1 o'clock Eastern Time on Thursday on many of these stations.
I would like to welcome all of you thousands of people out there to my city again.
Back to Atlanta. Bradshaw trapped, got it to Wingate. Now numbers for the Vols. Watson puts it over to Patterson. Should have taken it up, but instead tried to get it to Wingate. The pass too low, and Tennessee blows a fast break opportunity.
You know, Tom, sometimes you can overpass. That time, Tennessee overpassed the basketball. He had a wide open layup, Patterson did, and gave it up.
Chuck Hayes. Bradshaw knocked it away. Watson. Hayes got it back. And Azubuike takes it to the rim, tried to slam it home, takes a hard fall. Tennessee foul. Azubuike pops right back up.
Tell you what, you got to give Chuck Hayes credit right there. He stole that ball at midcourt and actually threw a terrific pass to Azubuike down on the left wing. Here's the finish of it right there. He kind of got clipped on the heels as he started to go up for the dunk.
Wingate tried to avoid the foul, instead got the legs of Azubuike and commits number 3. Azubuike hits the first free throw. This is just the 3rd Kentucky free throw attempt, number 4 coming up. Azubuike with only 3 points. A week ago tonight he had that 30-point performance against Auburn.
Really put on a show, didn't he?
Yeah. And 11 boards to boot. So 4 points for Kalena tonight. And Kentucky goes up by 8. That's their biggest lead.
Kentucky back into that full court pressure again.
Watson says, let's set it up. But meanwhile, they forgot Lofton. Morris has to come out to take him.
Somebody better guard him.
Crump. Foul shot not good by Lofton. Morris clears to Rondo. Sparks. Azubuike from Patrick Sparks.
Nicely done. Good passing by Sparks that time. Could have taken the shot out, could not too. Found Azubuike wide open underneath. That's the way you move the basketball.
Patrick Sparks, who had a little midwinter lull, has come alive here the last couple of weeks. Crump, double team. Passes to Patterson, who got it.
Well, that was a good look that time by Crump, looking on the other side.
Somebody better stop the ball. Rondo takes it all the way to the rim and draws the foul. Patrick Sparks doing it all for Kentucky tonight. Watch this assist. Azubuike with the finish. 47-39. Best of the conference presented by Chevrolet as we look at the SEC rebounding leaders. With Chuck Hayes of Kentucky averaging over 8 a game. Amongst the leaders in the SEC, with Lawrence Roberts, the only one averaging in double figures. Ashley Judd leading the cheers from the student section, 47-39. She began the game right behind us. She's going back to the eruption zone, her favorite spot here at Rupp Arena.
I think the students like having her over there, Tom. I'm just guessing, but maybe they would. She's terrific. One of the really true loyal fans Kentucky has.
15-19 left. Pat Riley talking to Joby Hall. Pat's going to sit down with us for a moment. Tonight's telecast featuring Kentucky, brought to you in part by the Kentucky Farm Bureau.
Rondo going to the free throw line, a place where Kentucky has not been frequenting very much tonight.
And of course, you know Rondo's struggles there, 56% on the season.
Tom, this is a part of his game he really needs to improve as a freshman. He stays around his entire career because a lot of teams are going to take full advantage of his inability to shoot free throws. And as we said, that he makes the first one.
And you see that Kentucky struggles at the free throw line. And Lofton rebounds the miss on the second free throw by Rondo. Bradshaw to front court, and Pat Riley sits down here next to us. Put you to work. You thought you had a free pass here tonight.
Speaking with you guys, I have a free pass. There's no doubt.
I don't remember you or Larry getting a senior night honor. Was that...
No, we were talking about it, Tommy, before the game, and they threw us a pom-pom, and that was about it. And then we had to do some 220s for Adolph the next day.
There's one of the seniors, Josh Carrier.
Absolutely.
Having his best night.
Good pass inside that time by Smith.
He reminds me a little bit of Conley myself.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, only because I was instructed to throw you the ball were you able to do all that all the time.
But Pat, Larry claims that he gave you lots of passes during
if it wasn't for Larry, Louie and I would have never been All-Americans, and Tom Crown. That's the truth. I didn't realize that about 10 years later.
Pat, how about this college game? Has it changed very much since you left it?
You know, Larry, I'm a pro fan. I love the college game, but you know what? It has changed. The athletes are a lot better, and it's just so much more exciting. I mean, take a look at this place. There's 25,000 people here, and it's magic every single night. But it's a form of entertainment. Everything they do here is great.
And Pat, what about this Kentucky tradition? You see it firsthand on senior night tonight. You experienced it as a player here. It's just something special about Kentucky basketball.
They teach tradition, Tom, and back in the 70s, I spent a little bit more time, coming back as I got older and more senile and all of that. But it would have been a great experience to be able to play here in Rupp Arena, and I know Larry probably feels the same way. And he would have passed it to me, that's for sure.
Well, the thing about it is that they doubled the size of the place where we used to play, and of course we used to get great crowds ourselves.
That was Memorial Coliseum, which was one of the great venues of college basketball in history, as C.J. Watson hits a three.
Well, Watson with a big basket over in the corner over there. Tennessee will not go away.
It's not senior night for them.
They were always one of our toughest competitors when we played.
Absolutely. Ray Mears.
Yep.
I still don't like orange. Won't even eat orange. I just can't.
And the guy lives in Miami, yeah.
Yeah, it is hard, yeah. I don't let him know. That's more of a red orange.
Carrier, Orbjut, is fouled.
Go back and take a look again at C.J. Watson on his long-range goal right in the corner, right in front of the Tennessee bench. Again, a nice pass by Watson over in the corner to get him the ball. Watson already, Tom, he's closed in on some double-figure assists right now.
He can always talk, you know that, Tom?
Oh, yeah, even then.
I mean, Conley can always, he could describe anything and anything, even the hamburger, behind Hagen Hall, without a doubt.
5 points, 5 assists for C.J. Watson.
You're traveling around the country seeing a lot of college games right now, huh?
Right now, I mean, March Madness is upon us, and I hate to say this, but I'm heading over to Louisville tomorrow night. I don't think your ratings just dropped.
Pat, you gave up the coaching, and it seems to me you're enjoying life a little more.
There's no doubt. You just got to ask my wife and my children. But I had 22 great years, Tom, and I miss it. There's no doubt I miss it, but it's time to move on. I love what I'm doing in Miami, and Stan Van Gundy is an absolutely great coach, and we have a great team. We got Shaquille and Dwayne, so life's good for us right now, and we're hopeful that maybe this year might be our year.
Well, the acquisition of Shaq, of course, who is an SEC favorite from his days here, and watching him at the NBA All-Star game, he was he was having the time of his life, it appeared.
We didn't acquire him. He sort of wanted to come. I said, this is a good deal to make, If I blew that one, they would have got rid of me for sure in the state of Florida.
Takes away that pass. We are honoring the two seniors here tonight. What about Chuck Hayes' potential at the next level?
I love him. There are a lot of players in this league, the NBA that are like him, that work, that have a demeanor, that are tough, that defend, that rebound, and he's going to have his opportunity.
Chris Lofton with his 16th point nails another three-pointer. How many points would Louis Dampier have scored if there had been a three-point line?
Oh, my. No, he was the prototypical. I mean, the offenses are different, but Louis was probably the purest shooter that I've ever been around. Absolutely.
One of the great guys to catch and shoot. I mean, he didn't have to put it on the floor. Very quick to the basket.
Moss misses. Perry can't control the offensive rebound. It'll be Tennessee's basketball. And the Vols hanging right in there. Buzz Peterson and the Vols at Rupp Arena trail only 53-49 on senior night. The Vols not intimidated at all. 53-49. If you thought senior night was going to be easy and you're a Kentucky fan, Tennessee has made it a struggle. 53-49 Wildcats. Be sure and watch the Dr. Pepper $1 Million Shootout March 12th from the SEC tournament in Atlanta. One lucky fan will have the chance to win $1 million, an Evinrude high-performance motor and Ranger boat, and other great prizes. Thanks to Pat Riley for sitting in with us for a few minutes, and he was able to see Chris Lofton set a record tonight. Chris Lofton, the Tennessee freshman, 16 points, 2 assists, and is now the all-time Southeastern Conference freshman leader in three-point field goals. Chris Lofton with 85 trays, the all-time SEC leader.
Tell you what, you look at that company right there. Allen Houston, Chris Jackson. It's about as good as it gets, and all of those guys were good shooters. And Pat Bradley from Arkansas, too, whom I had to have seen the other day at Little Rock. He's put on about 25 pounds.
Well, Chris Lofton did it, too, with many of his people from Mason County here. He missed that three with the long rebound to Watson.
Well, Tennessee really making it tough here on the Cats tonight in Lexington. Playing extremely well.
Reach-in foul, Ramel Bradley. Bradley's third.
Team third.
So they're honoring the Kentucky seniors tonight, but we're honoring the Tennessee freshmen as well. Chris Lofton with a record-setting night.
Tom, I really have said this all year long. Well, I don't think the Southeastern Conference is as good as it has been the last 5 years. They've got a freshman group in here that if they stay for the next couple of years, it is going to be a dynamite conference.
Out of bounds, lost by Tennessee. Hendricks. Orbshoot just stood his ground, and Hendricks lost out of bounds. Josh Carrier having one of his best nights. Here's a foul called on Moss of Kentucky away from the ball.
Well, they're going to say he got pushed from behind. Hendricks went down.
3 of the last 4 Kentucky Mr. Basketballs on the court tonight. 2 wearing white and 1 wearing orange.
And the other one had a big tip in, Ross Neltner.
Yeah, to beat Alabama.
Yeah.
Lofton recycles it to Watson. They set it up with 10 to shoot. That'll be a hip foul, stepping out, Orbshoot. Called for his first personal.
Well, he got there just about a hair too late. If he had gotten there just another second earlier, he probably would have been able to shut him off. But that little bump caused him to go down. Orbshoot picks up another foul.
Brandon Crump returns for the Vols. Hendricks out. 24,205 here at Rupp Arena on senior night. 2 3-point shooters, Sparks and Lofton, the only players in double figures. Lofton 16, Sparks has 14. Traveling call and another turnover. Look at some other SEC scores in Athens. Georgia continues to lead Florida. Alabama pulling away from Auburn. LSU's taking the lead in Oxford. And South Carolina on the road in Nashville leads Vandy. Looks like Patterson took the worst of it, and he's going to be called for the foul as well. Number 3 on Andre.
Oh, it adds insult to injury.
Yeah, I'll say. Or injury to insult. Team fouls, 5 against Kentucky. That was number 6 on Tennessee.
Tennessee goes back into that zone defense out of the out-of-bounds play.
Carrier for three. That one's short. Never got above the level of the basket. And Patterson gives it up to Watson. Tennessee's in a hurry. Too much so, perhaps, as Smith.
I think they're going to say it went off. Yeah, off the Tennessee player.
Juwan Smith forced it. And Tennessee loses possession.
Good see who it was off of. Watch Smith again right here, trying to make the move. And it does. It goes off his leg. Good call by Tony Green, the official.
See all those white jerseys in there, though? He'd have been better advised to take it back out. Lob inside, and Shaq might have been able to get it. I'm not sure. Shaq, unfortunately, is in Miami or someplace.
Well, Chuck Hayes tried to get in there. Orbshu tried to lower the ball down inside, but he just threw it about 15 feet too far.
The lead is just 4, and Tennessee has the ball.
Nice.
Smith, again, he forces it up. Took it all the way to the rim. Followed by Patterson, no good. Here's Crump. Brandon Crump flips it inside to Patterson. 3-second violation.
I was wondering if they were going to call that. There were 3 Tennessee players in there who had camped out.
And you see Buzz Peterson with an earful for Smith. That's twice. He's taken it, over-penetrated to the rim. And Tennessee had a chance. Tennessee doing a good job on the offensive boards, but they can't always get the putback.
Now, Kentucky's been out-rebounded in 7 of their last 8 games.
Including 5 in a row. Andre Patterson commits his 4th foul, 7th against Tennessee, as Azubuike, Morris, and Sparks return for Kentucky. Carrier, Orbshoot are out. And who else?
As is Moss. Yeah.
Chuck Hayes at the line as Tennessee commits number 7. 1+1 for the outgoing senior from Modesto, California. 21 double-doubles in his Kentucky career. We talked about him earlier. 102 straight starts for Chuck. Over 850 rebounds. Over 1,100 points. In the top 10 lists in just about every category you can mention for an inside player.
Tom, he really personifies the term teammate. I mean, he really does everything that you ask of a guy. Whether it's scoring, it's rebounding, defending, passing. He'll give you everything he's got while he's on the floor. This has been a terrific player for Kentucky to have for the last 4 years.
4 points, 3 rebounds, and assist for Chuck tonight. Remember, he only played 6 minutes in the first half in foul trouble. Watson guarded by the freshman Bradley. Hayes picks him up on a switch. Smith, an open 3, got it. That'll help make up for some of those over-penetrating moves that cost them possession. He has 5 off the ball bench.
Smith only averages 2 points a game. Nice pass by Hayes inside.
Once Morris got it there, you had to either foul him or concede it, and Crump does the fouling. That's number 4 on Brandon Crump.
Yeah, I was going to send Randolph Morris to the free throw line right now. You know, Kentucky's really good at moving the ball down inside when Chuck Hayes is on the top, on the high post, and making the pass down inside. Once again, watch the move by Juwan Smith there. Nice catch and finish in the corner.
Tennessee in some serious foul trouble now. Wingate has 4, Crump has 4, Patterson has 4. All inside players. Randolph Morris, Kentucky's freshman, missing the first.
Another player that Kentucky needs to work with in the offseason and before the season begins next year on free throw shooting. He is another one of those guys that has really struggled at the stripe.
Crump to the bench with 4 fouls, but replaced by a man who also has 4, Major Wingate. Chris Lofton is also back for Tennessee. Rajon Rondo is on for Kentucky as Morris misses again. Watson has the rebound. A Lofton 3 could tie it. Does!
You know what? And Hayes was right in his face. Chris Lofton having a great night.
Chris Lofton now with 19 points on 5 of 10 from the three-point arc.
Good return home for him back to his home state.
And he has set the SEC record for freshman three-point baskets. Tie game at the 8-minute mark. Azubuike lost it. Last touched by Kalena Azubuike. Kentucky turns it over. And thanks to the three-point shooting of Chris Lofton, Tennessee has tied the score. This was his latest. They'll have the ball when we come back to Rupp Arena. Best of the conference is presented by Chevrolet. The SEC assist leaders. The freshman point guard of the Crimson Tide has taken over the lead in that. Tack Minor of LSU had been the leader most of the season. And C.J. Watson of Tennessee right there amongst the leaders, rounded up to 5 per game. And he already has a half dozen here tonight. And one thing Buzz Peterson obviously said at halftime was somebody get in Patrick Sparks' face. And they have. Sparks has not scored in this second half after 14 points in the first. 34-32, a 2-point game now as the Gators make a run at the Bulldogs. Alabama coasting to victory against the Tigers. LSU a 2-point tenuous lead in Oxford. LSU trying to remain tied with Alabama atop the West. And South Carolina leads Vanderbilt in Nashville. And here in Rupp Arena, this one will cause a few eyebrows to be raised too as it flashes around the college basketball world. Buzz Peterson and the Tennessee Vols have played Kentucky on even terms with 7:53 left. With 7:53 to play, senior night at Rupp Arena, the Tennessee Vols shocking the Kentucky faithful with a 55-55 tie at the 7:53 mark. Be sure to check out the Evinrude display as part of the Dr. Pepper $1 Million Shootout at the SEC Fan Fair in Atlanta next week. Visit jpsports.com for more information on the Evinrude E-Tech 225HO Performance Motor.
Georgia and Auburn gave Kentucky a lot of trouble here in Lexington, too.
Well, Kentucky was a big favorite in those games, about a 15, 16-point favorite here tonight. Seemed to play up or down to the competition. Rondo nearly had it from Lofton. That was off Rondo. That's a good call. Tennessee's ball right in front of us.
Yeah, the ball actually came off of Watson's knee, and Rondo was laying out of bounds, and it hit him as he was going down. Pretty good steal right there. He almost came up with it. Watch the play. Comes right off his knee, and then hits Rondo as he's out of bounds. That's a good call.
Tennessee looking to take the lead. They led for much of the first 10 minutes. Shot clock now 10. Watson for 3. Rimmed out, tap no good. Cleared by Azubuike. Sparks gives it up to Rondo. Kentucky on the half-court offense. Wildcats look to take the lead.
Kentucky's offense has been very stagnant the last couple of minutes.
Sparks for 3. Kept alive by Azubuike, but Wingate has it for the Vols. So both teams misfiring on a chance to take the lead. Still tied at 55.
Yeah, Watson had a good look, as did Sparks.
Here's Lofton. Sparks jumps at him. Lofton misses. On the floor, who? Patrick Sparks.
Good hustle by Sparks to run that one down in the corner, trying to push it.
Rondo comes straight away. Sparks for 3. He's missed 2 in a row. That's a rare thing. Lofton missed his last attempt too, but he has that rebound.
But both of them were short. They're both at the edge of the rim.
One of Kentucky's huge weapons, of course, is the depth on that bench. They wear their opponents down so often.
It's one of the advantages I think Kentucky has going into the tournament, not only the SEC tournament, but the NCAA tournament. The fact that they have that deep bench.
Shot clock at 8.
Good screen.
Watson missed it in the tall timber. Lofton has it, though, for Tennessee as they scrap after it and come up with a loose ball again.
Well, Buzz Peterson's got his club really disciplined right now. Back into the half-court game.
Neither team able to score on these last few possessions. Wingate posting, can't get the ball to him. Back out to Lofton. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Watson, Azubuike took it away, jump ball. held ball and possession arrow to Kentucky. That could have been called a foul.
Could have very well been, but Azubuike comes up with the tie-up, and the alternate possession will give the ball back to them. You can see he and Watson rolling over on the floor right there. It could have been a clip.
I think that's a foul. Kentucky's ball. Tennessee remains man-to-man. This is Rondo, checked by Watson. Hayes. And one for Chuck Hayes as Wingate fouls out.
Pretty tough to stop him when he gets it that deep down inside. You're either going to foul, give him the basket, or both. Here's both. Wingate from the backside. Hayes praying for the ball to fall through that net. And Kentucky finally gets a basket.
And a three-point opportunity as Hayes will be at the line. Wingate becomes the first volunteer to foul out. Crump has 4. Patterson has 4.
You know, I think if I'm Kentucky, I'm going to go right back at those guys again down inside. Try to get it to Morris, try to get it to Hayes.
Major Wingate, who did yeoman service for the Volunteers when Brandon Crump was sidelined with the ankle injury. Unable to score tonight. He started 8 games for Tennessee. And Crump is on to replace him.
Chuck Hayes will be at the line for the Cats. He'll take 1.
So the man of the hour, Chuck Hayes. Kentucky launching that preseason and in-season campaign for Hayes to make All-American as Lofton sort of skips to the bench like he has an injury or maybe a cramp. Bradshaw replaced him. Hayes completes the three-point play. And again, I was saying, all he does is win. That was the Kentucky slogan for Chuck Hayes. And very, very true. No one in college basketball in the same tenure has a higher winning percentage.
Sparks doing a good job on Smith out front. Azubuike's got Bradshaw.
Remember now, Lofton, their main gunner, is on the bench. Taken away by Azubuike. We're told from the Tennessee bench it's a cramp that Lofton has. It's a critical time. We talked about how Kentucky wears you down. Their leading scorer Lofton over on the sideline with a cramp, and Kentucky with the ball up 3. Azubuike to Morris. He's fouled. Hard foul by Hendricks.
Good foul. You know, if you're going to take it up to the basket, you got to go with strength. And if you're on the defensive end, you want to make sure you foul, and they do not get the basket. And if you get fouled, just take the foul, walk to the line, and make your free throws.
There's Lofton over on the bench, putting ice on the cramp, we're told. Boy, an inopportune time for the Volunteers to have Lofton with 19 points over on the sideline. Morris missed the first. That's 10 fouls against Tennessee, though, so he'll have another free throw. Patterson is in for Hendricks.
Tom, Morris gets fouled more than anybody on this Kentucky squad, and if that's going to happen, he's got to realize he's got to become a better free throw shooter. You can see that 61% free throw average for the season, only 2 of 5 tonight.
And 3 of 6, 50%. Kentucky's lead is 4. Full court pressure from the Wildcats. Rondo knocked it away from Watson. Here's Azubuike. Hayes with a breakaway bucket. And Rondo made it happen.
Well, the SEC's leading steal man just got one in midcourt that got this crowd on their feet.
Chuck Hayes with 9 points all in this second half. And that one, the freshman Rondo took it away from Watson.
Look at Watson playing with the ball right there. You can't do that around Rondo. He'll come up with it. Hayes, the opportunist, picking it up right in front to get the basket. Nice job on both parts of both Rondo and Hayes.
Freshman and senior. And 8 Kentucky steals in this game. 4:07 here. We remind you, coming up on most of these stations Saturday, an all-tell SEC doubleheader. First game, 2 o'clock Eastern time, Arkansas and Auburn. And in the nightcap, LSU hoping to hold on to a share of the lead in the SEC West, hosting the three-point shooting Vanderbilt Commodores. Check your local listings. That's an SEC all-tell doubleheader this Saturday on most of these stations.
We'll be together in Baton Rouge this weekend.
Be a good game.
Tigers and the Commodores.
Tennessee will close out against Georgia, Thompson Bowling Arena. Kentucky travels to Florida to meet the Gators on Sunday. That steal by Rondo, his first of the game, the SEC steals leader. Brandon Crump, double team Rondo. Watson, skip past Bradshaw. Long three on its way, no good by Smith. And the rebound to Hayes.
You see how Kentucky handles this offensive possession. Do they go back inside again?
It's been a long time since Tennessee has scored. Here's Hayes up and under. Good.
Terrific second half for Chuck Hayes.
11 points.
I think Rondo got the steal, and they got the timeout, too.
Timeout Kentucky after the Rondo sleight of hand. Timeout with 3:11 left. Kentucky broke the 55-all tie, now up 63-55. Back after this from your local SEC station. Sparks into Morris. Sparks, long three. On the floor, Azubuike, undercut, foul called Bradshaw. No, it was not Bradshaw, actually. It was Lofton, Chris Lofton with a foul. 3:01 on the clock, and now we'll take that local break back after this from your local SEC station.
The Alltel SEC Game of the Week has been brought to you by Alltel, by Safe Auto Insurance, by Purnell Sausage, and by Bell South.
Tom Hammond, Larry Conley at Rupp Arena in Lexington. Roger Roebuck, our producer. Gary Clem, our director. We took away their weather licenses, by the way, because a week ago, Larry, we had a little dusting of snow outside, and Roger and Gary were telling us we had an inch of snow on the ground. But that may qualify them to be weathermen now. I'm not sure. How about this for courage? That's right in the middle of the Kentucky student section. A guy in Vol orange, a Vol sweatsuit, right in the midst of a sea of blue.
That man has courage.
Kentucky in the midst of an 8-0 run. Make it 9-0 as Azubuike puts the first one down. Chris Lofton is back for Tennessee.
Kentucky shot their free throws pretty well tonight, except for Morris.
At the line, Kentucky's 13 of 17. Tennessee is 3 of 4. Only 4 free throw attempts. Remember, in the first half, Tennessee had 2 and Kentucky none. And a long, dry spell for the Volunteers.
Again, good defensive work by Kentucky has caused a lot of that.
Lofton falling down 3 is no good, and Sparks.
Good block out by Morris that time on Crump to allow Sparks to get that ball.
Hayes passes out of the double team, and Morris slams it home.
If you're going to double team down inside, you've got to get that rotation from the other side. Lofton never got back.
Hayes now with 11 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Crump. Dribbled out of the double team. Watson using a Crump screen. Watson, that's a long 2, and finally, after about 6 minutes, Tennessee scores a point, but they're down by 10.
Tennessee's got to have some stops. They got to come out and put some pressure on the ball. Watson letting Rondo bring the ball down the floor.
Kentucky had scored 12 in a row.
Bradshaw chasing Sparks now.
Just 90 seconds remaining. Chuck Hayes, the man of the moment for the Wildcats.
Another good pass by Sparks. Got it to him in the right place.
Chuck Hayes going out in style. Now 13 points, all in the second half. Crump deflected by Hayes and taken by Rondo. Azubuike.
Oh, they're finishing strong now.
And Kentucky takes a timeout as Azubuike reaches double figures. Down in Athens, the Gators have taken command over the Bulldogs after trailing much of the game. Crimson Tide bouncing back after the loss to Kentucky. LSU on the road having a tough go of it in Oxford.
But then who doesn't have a tough go of it in Oxford?
They play everybody tough. They just don't win too many, right? And Vanderbilt has come from behind to take the lead over South Carolina. A rally by the Commodores.
You know, they're kind of on that bubble a little bit. This will give them 18 wins if they pick up this win against South Carolina tonight. Well, Kentucky getting it done down inside. Look at Patrick Sparks with that nice pass in there. And the good finish by Chuck Hayes. And then Azubuike right across the lane as he pounds one down.
It was tied at 55. It's now 71-57. Inside the final minute. And Sparks will drive Tubby Smith to distraction as he commits a foul trying to poke it away from the backside.
Only the 16th foul against Kentucky, so Tennessee is still not at the line.
Tubby Smith had Bobby Perry up off the bench to come in.
I'm not sure what this conversation is about. Tony Green going over to the official.
And they'll send him in. And that's to give Chuck Hayes a hand from the Wildcat blue-clad faithful as one of their favorite players of all time leaves for the final time, and C.J. Watson greets him as well.
Nice gesture by Dane Bradshaw on the sideline, also applauding, and the hug from Tubby Smith. Well-deserved after a great 4-year career.
What coach wouldn't love this guy? And Josh Carrier also leaving for the final time at Rupp Arena. Josh Carrier, the honors student, going to graduate in business with over a 3-point average. Sometimes the toughest things are expectations. He came in as a Mr. Basketball, his dad a great player, and came in with those expectations. Never lived up to them, Josh Carrier, but carried himself, hung with it, and was a credit to the Kentucky program. And he goes out in style, Josh Carrier, with a career-high night 9 points for the Wildcats. So both Hayes and Carrier up to the task of senior night at Rupp Arena. And as we wind down this SEC season, this weekend we'll have our Alta SEC doubleheader. 2 games with tournament seeding implications. 2 o'clock Eastern, Arkansas and their forward Ronnie Brewer travel to Auburn to meet the Tigers and the top scoring freshman in the league, Tony Douglas. Then at 4 Eastern, 3 Central, the SEC West title could be on the line as LSU hosts Vanderbilt. The BB Kings, Brandon Bass, Big Baby Glenn Davis leading the Bayou Bengals. Alliteration, Roger Roebuck wrote that. Should we thank him or blame him?
No, only you could have said that. Those alliterations were flying out of there.
Arkansas, Auburn tips it off. Then Vanderbilt, LSU. It all starts at 2 Eastern on Saturday.
Well, Tom, you know, you said it earlier about Kentucky playing to the level of their competition. But Tennessee came in here tonight. I got to tell you, they were ready to play. Buzz Peterson had his club really primed, and
I thought they came out and played as well as they have played all year long in a very hostile environment. Kentucky just jumped on them in this last couple of minutes.
Preston Lemaster comes on to play. Shigari Aline is set to come in. Stockton is also on the floor for the Wildcats. And a foul call that'll let Shigari Aline come into the game. I guess he's coming in for Perry because Perry's at the line. Meanwhile, we remind you, we'll all be down in Atlanta next week. All the fun starts Thursday afternoon, 1 o'clock. Atlanta, Georgia. The Kentucky Wildcats will go in as regular season champion. Who will be the West champion? We don't know yet.
Yeah, back to the Georgia Dome again, where Kentucky has had an awful lot of success down there in that tournament.
Sheree Thomas and Shigari Aline in for Kentucky. So Thomas, Perry, Stockton, Aline, and Lemaster for the Wildcats. Perry missed 2. C.J. Watson tees it up, and Perry clears. 30 seconds left. Kentucky on the verge of winning its 23rd game. Aline gets a throwdown on the pass from Thomas.
I tell you, you can throw it anywhere up there within about 3 feet of the rim. He's going to catch it and throw it down.
Well, we said Buzz Peterson, the embattled Tennessee coach, hoping to keep his job. He'll find out next week. Lofton forced that one a bit. But he had his volunteers ready to play as they came into hostile territory. On a night when we also saw Tennessee's Chris Lofton, the former Kentucky Mr. Basketball, set the all-time SEC record for three-point field goals by a freshman. But the night belonged to Tubby Smith and the Wildcats, especially their seniors, Josh Carrier, who had a career-high 9, and Chuck Hayes, who had 13 points all in the second half, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. And Kentucky now within 1 win of 1,900 overall, the all-time leader in college basketball in number of wins. They'll close out the season Sunday at Florida, while Tennessee returns home Saturday to entertain the Georgia Bulldogs. And the final score, Kentucky 73, Tennessee 61. Lennon scoring by Patrick Sparks with 14. 19 points and game-high honors to Tennessee freshman Chris Lofton. The final score again, Kentucky 73, Tennessee 61. Tom Hammond for Larry Conley saying so long from Rupp Arena. You've been watching Jefferson Pilot SEC basketball.
And good evening. First and 11, an emotional night for a couple of the players especially, and for the Wildcat fans.
Tonight they said thank you to 2 UK seniors, including one of the most popular players in Kentucky history.
A Kentucky boy and a West Coast native. Together they have one thing in common, they're Wildcats. And tonight fans and a former player said goodbye to these 2 seniors in true UK style.
For our old Kentucky home far away.
Rupp Arena was buzzing with talk of these 2 seniors. Wildcat fans know how tough this night is.
Well, I've been following the Cats for many a year, and I know that almost all of them love and hate senior night at the same time.
Even the smallest fans realize the significance.
We just won't be playing again, and that's pretty much it.
So on senior night, what do fans remember about Chuck Hayes?
He's been outstanding. He's a good, hard-nosed player and consistent.
He's been a rock-solid performer his entire career.
And if we say Josh Carrier?
Like most Kentucky kids that wanted to play for Kentucky, and he was willing to do whatever it took.
He's had a decent career. He's had a lot of competition.
While these two Wildcats are playing on their home turf for the last time, fans say they have a lot more basketball to play.
Rondo and Watson, that's a good matchup.
And the Cats will take on Florida Sunday before beginning the SEC tournament. Both Chuck Hayes and Josh Carrier will graduate with degrees. We'll have more from senior night, including highlights of the UK-Tennessee game coming up in sports.
Well, both sides. That kind of reminded me of Sam Bowie a little bit back in '84, but it was kind of extra special tonight with the emotion on Chuck's part, and one of the more memorable senior nights in a while. Always a special night in Rupp. Farewell to the seniors and the Cats' final home game. There was nothing easy about the game. Patrick Sparks hits Kalena Azubuike with a tremendous pass here in the second half, and the Cats open a 10-point lead. Josh Carrier enjoying a great night. This three-pointer to put Kentucky up by 12, but the Vols didn't give up. C.J. Watson, a three-pointer, shaving the margin back to 5. And when Lofton came open for this three off a loose ball, the Cats' lead was cut to 4, 53-49. And the Vols just kept coming. Juwan Smith, a three out of the corner. That made it a three-point game. And then Chris Lofton on the break, his 5th three of the night. Tied the game at 55, but at that point, senior Chuck Hayes came up big. He scored inside and drew the foul. 3-point play to put Kentucky on top by 3. And then off a steal by Rondo, Hayes went to the other end for the dunk, and Kentucky had a 5-point lead. The senior again inside, and the lead was up to 8, 63-55. Patrick Sparks this time goes baseline with a nice pass to Hayes for the slam. The Cats on top 69-57. Kentucky pouring it on. And the two seniors getting the final farewell. Hayes and Carrier coming off the court for the last time. And to say the least, they went out in style, 73-61.
You know, if you were writing a script about how you want the game to play out, it unfolded the right way. We had to have, you know, Chuck made the plays and down the stretch there. Josh, you're right, Josh made his threes in the first half and really did a good job defensively.
You know, the way I play, I have to thank the coaches and my teammates. They kept me in it because of the foul trouble I had in the first half. And they kept pushing me and motivating me. And things starting to happen and things started going my way. And I got excited for Josh. Josh was in there playing and Sparks was on fire. So it was a perfect night.
It definitely helps my confidence, but